Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to everyone's favorite show about plastic surgery, health, and beauty. This is Nip Talk. We got some good segments for you today. First off, Sofia Vergara talking about sunscreen and plastic surgery. I actually really liked what she had to say. We're going to talk about it. Then, cancer from breast implants. Yes, this is a thing, and you need to know about this in case you or someone you know has these particular implants. I'm going to tell you all about it. And then finally, Sarah's going to tell us all about summer trends, right? Fashion,
yes.
Food, everything. I can't wait to see it because I love Sarah's segments, and it's all coming up right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk, an honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle, with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Herman, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Herman. With me is the amazing Sarah. How are you, Sarah?
Howdy, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Travis, you in there?
I am.
Okay, good. How are you, buddy?
I am good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Hanging in there. Yeah. It's kind of gross outside.
It looks like we can see out the window now, though.
I know, right? It was really black a minute ago. I thought
Yeah.
like maybe it was nighttime.
It's starting to clear up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, it's starting to clear up a bit. So.
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, I know you have a big vacation coming up.
Yes,
going
again.
to see the biggest hole in the world.
I am.
Grand
The
Canyon time?
Yeah, and it's going to be a road trip with 3 children and my sister.
Wow, oh, that'll be fun though.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys renting like a Winnebago kind of
A
road?
minivan.
Are you really? Wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
Is it like one of those Sprinter vans?
I don't know. I just
oh.
went online. I was like, I just need to rent a minivan.
Okay, now tell me, are you guys like hiking or rafting?
Oh no,
None of
because
that.
Avery's the oldest.
Oh, so these are pretty
so
little
kids.
Yeah, so you're going to see the Grand Canyon and are you camping?
We're going. No, we're doing like a train through the Grand Canyon, or to the Grand Canyon. It's called like the Grand Canyon Railroad or something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and then we get to stay at the hotel that's ran by the railway, and then we're gonna go stay in a hotel that's like, like walking distance to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. I could see you being the athlete that you are or workout person, like, oh, we're going to go hike up and down the rim.
I would, but
Yeah.
it freaks me out to have Avery really close to things that are high because I can't
Right.
she's still in that phase where she's
Runoff phase. Yeah.
where she's like, oh, I think I can get closer. I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah.
It's interesting talking about hiking the Grand Canyon. So my older brother, does a lot of like climbing, 14 or so up in Colorado. You hike the 14,000 foot tall mountains. And so he told me that he was going to do this big hike in Grand Canyon, and it's kind of like a remote or whatever. And I was like, oh, you're going to take a satellite phone, right? Because I've done some like adventurous stuff, and I usually rent a satellite phone in case something happens that, emergency or whatever. He's like, oh, I don't need a satellite phone. So he goes on this hike, and he gets rhabdomyolysis, which basically is where your muscles break down so much it starts to clog up your kidneys. And he got it like at the bottom of the canyon, and of course they didn't have cell phone service, and he was kind of stuck down there for a while because they didn't have a satellite phone.
That's
and then
scary.
like they had to wait for somebody that was coming down the river that had a sat phone that they could call, and he had to get helicoptered out. Like, it was pretty crazy.
Somebody at my gym got that after doing the Murph.
What's the Murph?
The Memorial Day workout that every CrossFitter does. It's like
Murph.
1 mile run, 300 squats, 200 pull-ups, or 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and then another mile run.
Oh, wow.
And
The
usually
Murph.
you have to try, and like men will try to get it done in like 30 minutes with a weighted vest.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, I like working out, but
Stupid.
that's just dumb.
All for the soldiers, but at the same time, I'm like, it's for your ego.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to push myself pretty hard, but that sounds like a beast of a
No,
workout.
I finished that in an hour.
Hey, at least you
without a
finished.
vest.
It's not the
I
time,
didn't
it's
do
the
it this year, though.
completing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was drinking margaritas in Mexico.
During this?
Yeah, I did not do the Murph this year.
Oh, the Murph. That's right. 'Cause you were on vacation. I was like, you were drinking margaritas while you're doing this crazy workout. Man, I had new respect for you.
Yes. No, I would not do that. I would do it after.
So I guess as a CrossFitter, like they probably frown upon drinking while working out, right?
Yes.
That's
But
frowned
they
upon.
do. But they do, want you to
afterwards.
drink afterwards.
I remember when I used to do a lot of CrossFit. We had a pretty good group, and this is many years ago. So we would do CrossFit workouts, and then we immediately adjourn to the nearest
Bar.
Yeah, well, it's like a Mexican food
restaurant,
place. Yeah,
yeah.
right. So we could like drink margaritas and eat chips and sauce.
Yeah, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. It's what your body needs right after.
All right, so let's jump into some segments. And so we got a celebrity segment coming up here on somebody I actually really like as an actress. Although I can't remember what movie she's in. Maybe you could tell me. All right, so this is Sofia Vergara, who is
She's from Modern Family.
That's right. She was recently talking about her thoughts on sunscreen and plastic surgery.
Oh, okay.
And she had some really good things to say, actually. So she's 51 years old. She went on record about her thoughts on both sunscreen and plastic surgery in this recent interview. And she was telling the story of how when she was young, in her 20s, she kind of randomly read this magazine article that was talking about how important it is to protect your skin from the sun. We were just literally talking about this
Yes.
last week, right?
Yep.
Sunscreen and all that. And so for whatever reason, this article like really spoke to her. And so she says since that time, in her early 20s, when she read this article, she's been very religious about protecting herself from the sun and using sunscreen. To the point that now, because she's got pretty good money for being an actress, she started her own company.
For sunscreen?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Called Toady. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Toty. Toady. I hadn't heard of it. Apparently, it's pretty new. It started in the past few years. And this is a cosmetic line dedicated to protecting you from the sun. And they have multiple products. They have sunscreen. They have makeups. They have like moisturizers. But everything is got SPF in it. Mm-hmm. So everything protects you from the sun.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, you get celebrities all the time who will mention, protect yourself from the sun. But she's like going the extra mile. Like she's starting her own company to make products to protect people from the sun. Yeah, and I think it's great. And she went on to say that, she can really tell a difference because she has a lot of friends that she's known for many years. And all her friends say, hey, your skin looks amazing. Mm-hmm. And they're now saying, well, I wish I had, listened to you all these years where you're talking about, protecting yourself from the sun.
Yeah.
And as a plastic surgeon, I agree with her 1,000% because, part of my job is aesthetics and, doing things to make people look as good as they can. And I can always tell when someone comes in and they've had a lot of sun exposure.
Yeah.
I can tell it in their skin by the way their skin looks.
There was like a generation of girls that let's lay out
That was my
for
generation.
no reason.
Yeah.
I did that when I was in high school, and then I never didn't do it anymore after that.
Like when I was growing up, I never wore sunscreen. Never. Now, thankfully, although I had a few years where I had a lot of sun exposure due to jobs, I didn't always go lay out on purpose,
No, girls do that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time
All the
out
time.
in the sun, I guess, but I didn't go out there on purpose to soak up sun. So I feel like I did get some sun damage for sure. That knowing what I know now, I probably would have been better about using sunblock and sunscreen. But of course, we didn't know. I mean, hell, we didn't even wear seatbelts, so obviously we're not wearing sunscreen.
Yeah.
But it is important. So when she's talking about this and creating these products to protect people from the sun, I'm all for it.
Yes.
And then after she talked about sunscreen, she went on to talk about how she's a big believer in both aesthetic treatments and plastic surgery.
Yes.
I thought she had some good things to say. She said she's a big fan of chemical peels for your skin, which I agree. She's a big fan of lasers.
Okay.
I love lasers. I do one every single year. It's like the one thing in my office that I use every single year is the Cyton Halo laser because I just love it as far as tightening skin and resurfacing. She's a big believer in Botox, which I don't use Botox personally, although
I need to get mine redone soon, I think.
Squeeze your eyebrows together. Lift up. Yeah. How long ago did we do it? It's been a few months.
It was before spring.
Yeah. So the first time you use Botox, you only get
At
about
the
3
beginning
months
of
out
spring,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're due. Come by. We'll do it.
Okay.
Anytime. I forgot that we did your Botox. But did you like it?
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, Botox is, it's like cigarettes. I mean, the stuff sells itself.
Yeah,
I guess
because it works.
Yeah, it works good. I mean, I think Botox is like one of the best low-hanging fruits to keeping yourself looking young.
And it makes it to where I carry a lot of stress in my brow muscle right here. And I used to get kind of a lot of headaches, especially when I was under stress and like overly concentrating. And now I don't have that.
Everybody says that. Everyone, and we don't like necessarily advertise that, but everybody says that when they have Botox, in effect, they don't have as many headaches.
Yeah, those two things. Yeah. No creases in my makeup, and I don't have like concentration headaches anymore. Enough. Yeah, big one. Yeah, for me.
So Sofia Vergara also went on to say that she does in the future plan on having plastic surgery, but just given her
she looks great. So.
She does look great. I mean, looks really, really good. She's 51 years old. She looks good for any age, but especially for somebody who's 51, she looks awesome.
But she looks like if she looks younger, but if she said like she's 51, it wouldn't be like, oh, what have you had done? It's just like, oh, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, she naturally looks good. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, she did talk about one thing that I disagree on, which I'm not going to hold against her. Because I think she was on point for most things. So she really is not a big fan of fillers, which I'm on the fence about them, but there's some of the stuff that she said is just not accurate, and that's why I disagreed. She said that fillers are only good when you're young, like for doing your lips, and she thinks when you get fillers when you're older, it makes you look overdone.
Yeah.
I disagree with that because, if somebody looks overdone, that's just a technical error in whoever put the fillers in. I have like a legion of women that come to my office that get fillers, and I'm very conservative with fillers. Like I think that you can absolutely get the effect to make yourself look younger without looking overdone, but you just can't overdo it.
Right.
And so I think she probably just had some bad experience with it, or maybe she had friends that had a bad experience with it. Because she's off the mark there, I think. You can absolutely get really good filler work, and like products like Voluma, which plumps the cheeks up a little bit. I mean, I have plenty of women that have gotten that, and they don't look overdone. They just look a little bit better. Juvederm for like the nasolabial folds or the marionette lines is good. Sculptor is the new one. Well, it's not even new. It's been around forever, but it's kind of made a resurgence. And I think we're going to start carrying it in our office. Historically, we haven't.
Yeah.
So there are some good fillers that can really take the years off for people in her age bracket, like 40s to 50s, and not looking overdone is just a simple. It's just simply technique.
Yeah.
Of the person injecting, which is why you want to make sure that you go to somebody that's skilled. So.
I agree.
You haven't ever done fillers, have you?
No.
Yeah. You have great lips, so I mean, you could define them a little bit more, but like there are people out there who like really could benefit a lot from like lip filler, and you're too young for the other stuff at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to Botox for a while.
Yeah. I think because you're what 33?
I'll be 35 this year.
35
in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little early for fillers outside of like if you want to do your lips, which you definitely don't need. But 10 years from now, that might be a different story. I mean, people in their 40s is when fillers start to have some benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying you need fillers.
Well, I don't.
I'm just saying in general as far as
not yet, anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought Sofia Vergara was really on point with pretty much everything she said, though, and that's refreshing. I mean, she says some really intelligent, accurate things, which you don't always see that in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I kind of do respect for her, although I respect her anyway. But she's kind of on point. So check out her toady line. I bet that's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Not you, just like people in general. So. All right. Enough about celebrities.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a pretty crazy topic. This one's it's interesting and it's important to know. And we've kind of at various times talked about this, maybe not its own segment. So this is a segment about specific breast implants that can give you cancer.
Yeah, I've kind of faintly remember.
Yeah, we talked about this at one point, but not like as its own segment. I think it was like part of a different segment. I do think this is good for people to know because there is some risk associated with this. So, and I have people ask me all the time, do breast implants increase your risk of cancer? And the general answer is no, except for one specific
Like a
type.
brand?
It's not a brand, it's a type.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so and this segment comes from a recent surgery I did where I actually opened somebody up to swap out their implants. And so this patient came in. She had implants put in like the mid-2000s. And so they were, a little over 15 years old. And they were too big. She didn't want them that big anymore. And she'd had some sagging. So she wanted to swap out her implants for smaller ones and do a lift, which is a really common operation I do all the time. And she did have some scarring in her implants, like her implants felt a little hard, which ideally, they shouldn't feel hard. That's a complication. That's called capsular contracture, and you shouldn't have that. But she had some capsular contracture, so we're going to fix that, put in smaller implants, and do a lift. So when I opened her up, I found something unusual, which is this specific implant type that has been found to potentially cause cancer. And at the end here, we'll talk about that particular cancer. So I took some video, and I want to show the video. And I'm going to, Travis, if we can, when you roll this video, hopefully you guys still hear me. So the implants are the ones on the bottom.
Yeah.
So these are textured implants. So look, I'm going to pick it up, and you can see this thing has texture. And the best way to describe it's almost like a stucco wall. Like it's rough and bumpy. Like it has like a real kind of grain to it that you can feel.
Yeah.
And that's really very different to kind of the industry standard implants, which are the ones above. And the ones above are not actually the implants we put in. These are sizers. So this is what I put in to kind of judge what permanent implant I'm going to use. Okay. So you notice that shell on there is much smoother, right? Yeah. It's very smooth. There's no kind of texture to it whatsoever. And those are industry standard, the ones on the top. Those are smooth, round, silicone gel implants. And so, the next question would be like, well, why do people use the textured implants at all? So when you went to get your consult, and I know you've been open about this, so if you're new to the show, I'm not putting Sarah on the spot here. Did they talk to you about the different types of implants when you went to do your surgery or no?
All I remember is just saline versus silicone.
Oh, wait, saline versus silicone, which is kind of the big one, right? Saline versus silicone, which, by the way, if you want to answer that question, it is silicone is the right answer. But yeah, there's also different types of implants beyond that. And so in the 2000s, shaped implants became a thing. So shaped implants are not round. They have a end or a side that's bigger. It's shaped like a teardrop, like this. There we go. So round implants are kind of like this, and then teardrops are like that. Round implants, though, do become teardrops with gravity, so they actually do the same thing as shaped. So in the mid-2000s, these shaped implants came out on the market, and one problem with the shaped implant is if it rotates,
it looks weird.
It looks weird. Yeah. So textured implants kind of got a little bit of resurgence there because one of the things that textured implants do is they adhere to the tissues on the inside, and the thought is well, if they adhere, then the implant's less likely to rotate. Also, they're less likely to flip over, which is a very rare thing. I mean, I've seen that every now and then, but it's not very common. Some people think that has less risk of bottoming out, which is where the implant, goes below the breast. Now, I really disagree with pretty much everything that these reasons were stated for using textured implants. First off, I hate shaped implants. I was actually in the study that was the big FDA trial because my boss at the time was one of the lead investigators in it. And after we had used some of these shaped implants, I was like, I'm never using these things. Rotation was a problem. Like we were having to go back to surgery to rotate people's implants, which is not good.
Right.
So I was against those. I also am against these textured implants because I believe that they are more prone to cause scarring. Now, some people say they think that they're actually less likely to cause scarring, which I think is kind of nonsense because, this patient's a classic example. When I opened her up, that implant was just stuck to the inside. That causes a reaction.
Sounds gross.
It causes a reaction to the tissues, and I think that reaction is making you more likely to have scarring.
So do they still have these on the market, even though they
I think
haven't
technically
increased?
They do. So nowadays, I think smooth is 97 or 98% of implants used. I think there are still some holdouts out there using shaped implants. And so I think that's why some people are still using textured implants. I never liked textured implants. I just think that they are prone to problems, not benefits. So I was always kind of against using them. And then what ended up happening is then in the early teens, so like, I don't know, 2012-ish, and I'm not sure that's the exact years, don't hold me that, but it was roughly, 10 to 15 years ago. It was discovered that patients who had textured implants in were coming down with a very, very specific rare type of breast cancer, which is anaplastic large cell lymphoma. So it's not the same breast cancer that, like ductal or lobular cancer, that people get when you hear the classic thing of breast cancer. And so I actually diagnosed one of these, which is really wild. So it was a patient that came into an ER and she had implants, and then not suddenly, but over a short period of time, like her breast really swelled up. She came into an ER and I was consulted because I was the doctor on call. And I took her to the OR, opened her up, I thought maybe she had an infection, and there was a bunch of fluid around her implant, and there was this weird, really weird, like, kind of tissue-y stuff on her capsule. And I was like, this is bizarre. I've never seen anything like this. So I did the right thing, which is to send some of it off to pathology. And then I took out her implant and washed everything out. And it came back as cancer.
Yeah.
It came back as anaplastic large cell lymphoma. And at the time, I didn't know about this. Like, it wasn't really a known thing. In fact, her pathology got sent to UT Southwestern because the findings were unexpected and so rare. And UT Southwestern, which is like a huge cancer center, called me and said, hey, by any chance did you take a picture of what this looked like in surgery? And I was like, no, unfortunately I didn't, because I thought it was clot or some sort of like, a granulation growth or something.
Yeah, you're just doing like due diligence.
I was
like,
just doing due diligence. I mean, it was
Yeah.
weird. And thankfully I sent some off, which is the right thing to do. But I had no idea it was cancer. Like, no clue, because this ALCL was not a known thing at the time. And so, I actually diagnosed one of these cases early on, which is really kind of cool because this is very rare. So, the next question comes up. It's like, okay, if I have these textured implants, what are my chances of getting the cancer? And there's a couple studies out there on that. They say the risk is somewhere between 1 in 5,000 and 1 in like 85,000.
Yeah.
So realistically, if you have these implants, you're not going to get cancer.
But like, why would you pick them if there's a chance?
Right, exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
And not to mention the other issues. So
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'll tell you, the other thing about ALCL, and they call this BIA, so it's breast implant associated ALCL, which is anaplastic large cell lymphoma. If you get this cancer, it is got a very, very, very good prognosis. The cure rate's very high. The 5-year survival rate is over 90%, which is very, very high for cancers.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a terrible cancer, but I'm telling you, if you know someone or if you have textured implants, I would get them out. Because why? Why take the risk?
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think these things should be on the market anymore, personally. I just don't think there's any benefits. I mean, I've used these things in the
silly
past.
to get.
Yeah, right? It's like, why get something that gives you added risk if there's no benefit? And I just don't think there's benefit. I mean, I have used these. I used them because I was in the study for the CPG implants, which were textured shape implants. I don't like them.
So if a doctor is like, oh, we have these textured implants, red flag, get out of there.
I would, because I mean, I would ask that person to be like, why are you using these?
Yeah.
Like, what benefit do you see in using these? I mean, I don't know. I just don't think there's a benefit. I think all the advantages they say are just kind of bogus.
Right.
Honestly. So yeah, like if you know somebody that has textured implants, or if you have textured implants, I don't think it's an emergency. You don't gotta like rush out, and go get those things taken out. But I would plan in the very near future getting them out.
Yeah.
That's
It's
just
scary.
why take the risk of getting cancer? Like, I mean, I don't get it. So, all right. Now on to a less depressing topic than cancer.
It's my turn.
It's Sarah, and I love Sarah's segments because she educates us on what's in style, and this is not just clothes, right?
Yeah, so this is like Pinterest's like most trending
My daughter
summer
loves Pinterest.
searches. So for summer 2024.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I guess we're going to start out with the food. So mangoes are the top search right now.
I have some mangoes at my house.
Which is like good because that's like a summer fruit, and I love mangoes.
I love mango.
They
love
are
mango
so
tea.
good. Yeah,
they
me
are
too.
good.
I got a mango tea yesterday.
They're kind of annoying to like,
They are
prep.
annoying, but
but they're so
so
good.
good. They're
Yeah,
worth it.
I agree.
Next up, we've got a lot of tea.
I just was talking about mango tea.
So
You ever put mango in your tea?
yeah, I just said yeah. I always drink mango tea.
Oh, you did? Oh, I thought I said that.
I like to go to that Dutch Bros. Their mango green tea is really good.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Let me try that. All right.
But yeah, so a lot of, and I've noticed just because like Bridgerton has gotten really popular, a lot of the searches in Pinterest revolve around Bridgerton, and you'll see it.
Okay, hold on. I'm a dummy, obviously.
Bridgerton?
Yeah, what is Bridgerton?
It's on Netflix. It's like a story. It's almost like,
got
it's like,
it's a show.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
okay.
it good?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, I'll look it up. I'm always looking for
Your
new shows.
daughter would like it. Anyways,
Really?
and your wife.
Okay.
For sure. She probably has
Is
already
that
watched
cinnamon
it.
bread?
Yes. So another thing that's in
Does it have
popular
raisins
search,
in it?
it's cinnamon raisin sourdough bread. So another
Don't like
popular
raisins.
search on Pinterest right now is sourdough bread.
I love sourdough
So people are just, baking. They're baking things right
Are
now.
they?
Yeah. I thought that was interesting too.
bread. Yeah, I love to cook. I don't like to bake.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, one of my friends, there's a lot of health benefits to sourdough bread. It's like supposed to be better for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love the taste of sourdough. I love a good sandwich, like a deli sandwich with sourdough.
And then next up is like everything avocado, which makes sense because everything with avocados has been trending for a
Dude,
while.
it is so funny that you mentioned this because we're in this like fruit and cheese of the month club thing.
Yeah.
Which I love, by the way. I know it's a nerdy thing to say. So what did they send us this month? Avocados and mangoes.
Yep.
In the same box.
Yep.
That's so funny. All right.
Pinterest knows.
Pinterest
Everything.
does. I'm gonna have to get back on Pinterest.
So next up is this trend of like instead of going out, people are staying in and having like fancy little parties.
like a brunch.
Yeah. So
like
and
it.
that's also based off of Bridgerton
Oh my God, Bridgerton's
because they have fancy little tea parties. They have little soirees, like dances, like
is this like a drama, Bridgerton?
yeah.
Okay.
But it's also it's a good show. Anyways, yeah, so fancy little parties, little dinners with the girls, a lot
That does look fun.
of these things. You can kind of just scroll through them, Travis. Like just like fun little girly things, like tea parties and just like staying in and having dinner
Instead
parties
of
with your
going out.
friends instead of
Well,
going
also
out.
too, with everything being more expensive now. I mean, man, it's crazy how
Yeah.
expensive it is to go out to eat. I literally, not to put you off topic, I went and grabbed lunch at a place the other day, and the food was amazing. It was Indian food, and I did not get alcohol.
Yeah.
Just clarifying that. $30 for lunch. I thought that was.
And it was just one meal. You didn't get like a side or anything, like a
It was
appetizer?
so I ordered tiki masala with a flavored iced tea, and an order of naan, which is the bread. That's it.
Yeah,
$30.
that is a lot.
It is a lot, right? And
For
it wasn't
lunch.
like the Waldorf Astoria. It was like
No.
an Indian food place that's down the road from my house.
Weird.
I mean, everything's expensive.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. Okay, and then next up is design. This is another thing that's based off of
Look at that painted wall.
Bridgerton. This is a very Bridgerton style thing. So people are researching vintage and
I love vintage.
eclectic stuff. And almost it's like more is better. Like it's kind of like cluttered, but it's like
Oh, right.
Put
okay.
together.
I get it.
and it's very like homey.
I wish I had the time to like decorate my house crazy like that.
Yeah.
seems
That's
like-
not my style. I'm very minimalistic.
Are you?
Yeah. Most of
I
the
like
time.
that look though, honestly.
Yeah. Next up is the fashion segment, which is very different from the Bridgerton things that
Okay.
people are looking for.
Cargo
They-
pants are on their way back in.
Yeah. So
I
this is
love
called like
cargo pants.
maximalist. They labeled it maximalist summer, and to me that says like everything's max. So like your pants are bigger, like baggier. You're gonna have more jewelry, more patterns, bolder things are happening.
So maximalism is in for the summer.
So
All right.
as you can see, the max part of her outfit is obviously her pants, but her top
Yeah.
is also oversized.
Interesting.
Another maximal outfit.
Maximal fabric.
Yeah, and it's oversized, and it's very eclectic, especially like her
Kind
accessories.
of the asymmetry of it, yeah.
Yeah. Big patterns. So like I'm wearing gingham because I saw this all over Pinterest.
Nice.
So
That's nice. I
it's like
it.
big, bold colors, red specifically.
I like
and then
the style of
gingham.
those pants. Those are cool.
And then this style, those shoes in particular, a lot of people are searching for those Adidas shoes, those Adidas style shoes.
Like the style or the color?
The style and like the loudness of them.
Yeah. They're very...
Yeah.
Yeah, loud's a good word.
Yeah. And she's like, if you can go back, Travis, sorry. Like her whole outfit, like look at her bag on the table.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Shoes crazy. And then her little, she's wearing like a little skirt, but it's like really very girly. And then her top is a jersey.
Yeah, cowboy
So
jersey.
it's like very like not what you'd think that you should
It's
wear
kind of
together, but it
eclectic.
works.
Yeah.
And then this one's just max amount of jewelry. So a lot of layering of jewelry, a lot of different types of jewelry, and
It's the
kind
Mr.
of like,
T look.
yeah. Oh, the lights are flickering.
Are we still on air, Travis? Are we good?
We are good. For
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Yeah. Okay. So just like a lot. Again,
Yeah.
a lot. And then another.
Whoa, look at that pattern.
A lot. So like
That is a
it
lot.
kind of, I feel like the design,
Nice.
like interior design and the fashion are kind of like, they're kind of coming together in terms of
I mean,
the busyness
I
of
like
it all.
crazy jackets, but I wouldn't wear that. That's just
No.
not my style.
No, I don't think I would. And then ballet flats are making a comeback
Oh, interesting.
in particular.
Okay.
So, yeah, more
Look
jewelry.
At that jewelry.
Yeah, a lot of people are just searching for how to stack. And then, okay, so now we're getting into hair beauty stuff. So braids are coming back, and not just braids, but like the 90s style hairstyles are coming back.
Bring back the 90s.
Yes, and so is makeup and nails. So you can scroll through there if you want. So this is a makeup style and I guess a hair trend. It's just, like the lips are, you can tell that her lips are lined, which is very 90s.
Mm-hmm.
She's still
I
got,
like that look.
yeah. So that's
Just
another
it.
little 90s. Hair braided again, very 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Big hoop earrings. Very
Everything
90s.
is circular. It's like a 20
She's
to
even
20.
wearing a band t-shirt, it looks like.
Nice.
Some type of, and then there's Pamela Anderson. People are researching like how to do her hair like that is very on trend right now. That's kind of almost sometimes how I wear my hair. Whenever you tell me you liked my hair one time,
I saw you sitting on the couch one day. I was like, "Who's that girl?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, Sarah."
Yeah, it's because I was doing my hair in that like little 90s trend. But yeah, you can turn it. And then big clunky highlights. I remember I did this to my hair when I was in high school.
Yeah,
Not as like bold as that, like
I like
black
that
and
look.
white.
I mean, it's just different, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool.
People
look.
are researching that. And then this is very early 2000s, 90s hairstyle. I remember Tyra Banks had this hairstyle.
I don't
And
know
that
the
looks
bangs,
like Tyra.
but I like.
But like the bangs and the like big luscious like curls, like
Yeah.
a Disney princess is
I think it looks
back.
cool.
Yeah. And then there's some more braids. I've tried to do my hair like this before, and I always look like a weirdo. But
Really?
maybe I'll try it again.
You should try it again. I bet you
I
can
always
pull it
feel
off.
like self-conscious about it. And then, so nails, definitely a 90s thing with the French manicure and just having like the fruity stuff. That's just a summer thing coming. And then here's our makeup again.
Those
the
aren't studs, are they?
No, they're just like little pearls. But like the cool
drops.
eyes. You remember in the 90s when everybody would put that blue on their eyeshadow?
Yeah.
And then that's actually Zendaya. She has her haircut very similar to like Rachel from Friends. And she looks
right.
kind of like Rachel from
Friends
Friends.
making a comeback.
Yes, like that hair, like that style. See, there's another
Yeah.
style with the light eyeshadow and the hair up like Pamela Anderson. So it's very in style right now. There's some more nails. So very in style. And yeah, some more makeup. And nails. Some strawberry
I've seen a
manicure
lot
nails.
of those nails like that. That's very popular.
Yes.
So
And Avery, yeah, you can see Avery in the background.
Avery snuck in. We got a guest.
Yes, hello. She's scared of the storm.
Oh no, poor Avery.
But yeah, that's all I've got. It's so, if anything to remember, it's It's maximalist summer, a lot of 90s inspiration, and Bridgerton. So whenever
check
you're
out
searching, what to do, just remember it's 90s.
What do you think,
Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Good input, thank you.
All right. We appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. I think that's all the time we got for you today. If you want us to research any topics, please let us know, and we will talk about it next episode of Nip Talk.